those. I think I had met those before. Yeah, I see Ida has joined as well. Hi, Ida. Uh, can you guys hear me? Okay. So I think I'll jump right in. Let me share my screen so that we go through what we have right now, and then we can take it on from there. Okay. So this is the system that we have built thus far, and I had done a brief demo previously, but I'll go through most of it again. And this is the login screen, it's like the main entry point to the system. We just link it up to some subdomain of your website, say PAL or whatever the name of the system is. We had actually not finalized on the name Gerard, so we can create a subdomain like pal.tainu.org or whatever the domain is. Then it will lead to this login page. That would be the main entry point. And then from here, everyone who has access to the system will have their own credentials, but they all log in through the same login page. The routing logic is embedded backend. So when you log in and your role in the system, you are an admin, you'll be redirected to the admin dashboard. If you log in and you are finance, you'll be redirected to finance. If you are a mentor, you'll be directed to the mentor's dashboard. So that is how it works. Everyone doesn't have their own login page. They all use the same. The routing just changes based on what your role is in the system. So I'll start with the admin. Uh, Once the admin logs in, this is their dashboard. And for them, they have literally oversight over everything. They can have full control over the system. So they have general summaries here, like how many users the system has, how many programs are currently running by Tayinu, how many beneficiaries have been reached or onboarded so far, and how much has entered this month. So those are some of the summaries. If you have like more pressing summaries you think the admin should be seeing here instead of any of these, you could note that and then recommend later. Then we also have like a visualization of the trend of how money has been coming in and going out of the organization. So we track over time the income and expense month on month. So we also have a summary of the beneficiaries that we have. Uh, we can get like rough percentages that most of the group of the beneficiaries you have for savings or youth or whatever. And then you also have like a brief in text for the income and expense, but also for the group savings and the loans given out. So we have like a brief snapshot of all the groups, how much money have they saved thus far and how much have they given out in loans. Then we also have a brief of the recent activity and then a visualization of some of the program KPIs, like how many beneficiaries, how many trainings over time still. So that is the main dashboard. And down in the sidebar here, we do have a page for cash flow, which records income and expenses. So previously, from the previous engagement, we had a share of the UI, which I was working on, and then Regina was working on the back end. But right now, all of them have been merged, and this is a function, and all of this is in the database. So here you get a snapshot of the total income received, how much of that has been received this month, and how many transactions have been made. You can filter if you want to see, for example, how much you earned in a certain range, say from June last year to right now. You could easily select a date range maybe and go back and choose 2025 June and select maybe from 1st to maybe today. Uh, yeah, and then it will filter and show you only transactions that entered into the organization within that selected duration. You could also reset so that you see all of them. You could record a new income. So this is for whoever is managing the finance. It could be the admin, or if you have a dedicated finance person, you record. First, you start with a program for which these funds came in. And this program, you also have access to create it. There is a separate page here for programs and outreaches. So you can create a new program. If you have a new one, you could manage the existing programs. You could also see the communities that you have. But if we go back to the income, if you're recording a new income that has come in, you select for which program it came. If we say you have a youth livelihood program, you select the category of income. Is it a grant, member fees, training fees, or whatever? So if it's a grant, for example, you also have an option to record who the donor was. And the donors are also manageable by the admin. Right here in the sidebar, you can see there is a page for managing the donors. So if you receive a new donor, the admin who or whoever has access to can add that donor to the system. If say it's Ugandan government, you could add it. If you have a contact person in there or their details, you could add those as well. Uh, But these are optional as long as you have the donor name. Even if you don't have the details of the contact person or the rest, you can add that donor. And when you're recording the income that came in, you can select that donor to show that the money came from them. So you could add a description. They gave us this money for blah blah blah, whatever description you have about this particular income that's being recorded. And here you can put the amount that you received. So if say it's 10 million, you could put that, and you can see as you're typing, the commas automatically being added so that you can easily follow uh, to ensure you're entering the correct amount. Then you can select the date for which this payment was received. If it's today, you can just easily select that. If it was in a previous date, you could still go back and select whichever date you received that payment. If you have a receipt number, you can select that. And then if you also have a proof of payment, maybe a receipt or something, you could click here and select that receipt and attach it when creating this income record. Then once you submit, you can see the record has been added as the income, and you can see their income for this month previously was 0. Now it is 10 million because of this new income that we've added. and you can see who added what. You can see this was added by the system admin and so on. This was added by a different user. So whoever records everything, you easily track who added what, who edited what, who deleted what. Uh, you can also as well click here and view the whatever was attached as the proof of that transaction. You could edit as an admin, you could also delete. You have those rights. And you could export this entirely. So if you say you want to export this to an Excel document, you could just click there and it will download for you an Excel sheet with all these transactions. Same for expenses, it's literally everything like the income is recorded. You can see the total expenses that have been incurred by the organization. You can see total expenses made this month and the number of transactions. Then for recording, you still record the program for which this expense was incurred, and then you record the category. Was it a community meeting, venue hiring, insurance, transport, lunch, and all those? You could record that expense here. Then enter the amount that was spent, the date for which that payment was made. You could enter maybe a reference number if you have, or transaction ID or something. And then you could also add a proof of that expense, like a receipt, and then record. Then that expense will be recorded. And then you can still see the proof of payment once you click the view button. Uh, if we go to the groups, you can see here the groups page. This is where you manage or monitor all the groups that are enrolled in the Tayinu. So you can see the total that has been saved by all the groups. You can see the total loans that have been given out and how many beneficiaries are in all those groups. So the mentors can create these groups. They have access to create a new group, add members, record savings, and all that. So these are some of the groups that are already created. But if you click on the new group, you can select a group name, maybe new group, and then select a group type. You can select the savings period, if they save weekly or bi-weekly or monthly. You could select whatever their savings period is, and you can select to which community they belong. Say they belong to maybe Gago. You can select the date for which this group was created. I'll choose that. And then you can choose the fund types that this group supports. Uh, in the last meeting, I was informed of these three, and the group can have any or all. So if the group has the Nigina fund, you select it. If they don't have TRF, you can skip that. And you can also select RP if they do have it. If there's some additional description to be added on the group, you can enter it here and then create the group. So you can see the new group is there. And here you see the like a summary. When you click on the group, let me show you. When you click on the group, it opens the group details page. Now here you get more details about the group, how many beneficiaries it has, how many of those are female, how many are male, when was it formed, and then these other basic details. You could see which funds are active. You can see TNF is on, ERP is also on, but this TRF is off. So that means they are not using this. But at any other time, if they want to, you can come here and add it or enable it. And then you can come here and add beneficiaries to this group. So you just click here, add a beneficiary, you enter their names, a new beneficiary. You select their gender. By default, a female is selected because I was told this mostly focuses on females, but You can select male as well. Then birth date, if you have it, you can select the birth date as well. You can enter these others are all optional. They can be entered if available. If not, it's still okay. So if you have their phone number, the national ID, their education level, you can select from this drop down from P1 up to university. Then you can select their occupation, say they are farmers. You can select the household size, their address, maybe say Nakawa or whatever. Then if they have vulnerability indicators, you could select maybe it's a teen mother, uh, and then add. So that beneficiary will be added to this group. Then on the details page here, you can choose the leadership for that group based on the beneficiary. So you first add beneficiaries, then on the details, you can select who the chairman is or chairperson of this group, and they will be added here. You can select who is the secretary of that group. You can select who is the treasurer. Those are the three main roles that we are tracking. And then, importantly, on the savings part for this group, only the funds that were activated are visible here on savings. So you can see only chose TNF and ERP. So those are the only funds we are tracking. And by default, if you haven't started saving yet, nothing to show here, but you can create a new cycle. This is for TNF, the Nigina. So you can create a new cycle and give it a name. So maybe if they are saving, maybe whatever you could, if maybe 2026 or whatever they would want to call this cycle, select when it starts. And for Nigina, I was told it's a fixed amount every member has to bring, and then all the pooled amount is given to a certain member for that round. So if every member is supposed to bring 10,000, you enter that amount that each member is supposed to contribute per period. Then you create that cycle. Then for the Nigina, there are cash rounds. So you can add a cash round, and for maybe this is the first round, and select in this round who is the beneficiary, which member is going to receive the amount that is being collected, and then create the cash round. Just that right now I have only one beneficiary. I can try adding a new member here for maybe it's a refugee just for testing. So when the members bring in their contributions, you just click here on record contribution and select the round for which that contribution is. Maybe it's round one. Which member has brought in the money, you select them and you select how much they have brought. If they have brought their 10,000, you put it there and record it. So now here you will see the contributions that this member brought in 10,000 on that date. If another member brings in their contribution, you come and select them as well. That test member also brought their 10K and record that. So whoever brings in the money, they're added here that they have contributed their amount for that specific round. Then once the round has say ended and the money has been given out to that particular member who was supposed to receive, you can click here and mark the payment as paid. So when you click mark as paid, you select how much was given to that particular user, because sometimes some people have not contributed. So whatever amount was paid out to that particular user for this round is recorded, and then the payout is confirmed. So just that the name is a bit confusing, but this is the member that received the money. So and so on. So if a new round is to start, still they just come and create a new round, maybe round two, select who is supposed to receive for this round, and then proceed like that. Then for ERP, still we can create a cycle, say 2026, and select a fixed amount that each member is supposed to bring, maybe 1,000 for the emergency fund. So once the cycle has been created, you can see how much everyone's supposed to bring, the total that has been collected, and what's available. So still, you can record the contribution. If a certain member brings their contribution, this one's already put, you can record it. And then if maybe a certain member uh, needs this disbursement, or while you are contributing, or while they have a wedding or whatever, and you want to give them some money, that payment to that member has to be recorded. So you come here and select which member you are giving that money and how much you are giving them. Say we are giving them 500, and what is the reason for that amount? Maybe contribution for their wedding, the date for which that payment was disbursed, and then confirm. So you can see uh, a disbursement of 500 has been made to that user. And here you can see that total has been collected is 1K, but available balance is 500 because 500 was given out to this member. So that is for ERP. Let me enable TRF as well so that we can see how that operates, because initially if the group only had these two and now they also want to use TRF, you can just come here and add it, and that's it. So if you go back to the savings, now the tabs are 3. TRF has also been added, and still it's the same cycle. It's the same thing. You can select the cycle, maybe it's 2026, and then for TRF, it's the revolving fund. You members just pull the funds and then they can take out loans. So you can record a contribution of a certain member. Say this member has paid 50,000. You can record that, and another member brings in 100,000 and record that as well. So you can see all the contributions here. And then if a member requests for a new loan, that loan is also issued here. So you select which member requested for that loan and how much they are requesting for. 10,000, they are returning it in how many months? They're returning it in 2 months. So here it shows you that if we are using a 5% interest rate per month, that member will have to give us 1,000 as interest. So the total they're supposed to pay back is 11,000. But since they are supposed to pay it back in 2 months, every month they'll be paying us a monthly installment of 5,500. So the system computes all that. And then if it has been disbursed today, that disbursement date can be recorded here, and then the loan is added. So now we can see the active loan here. Who took that loan, how much they took as principal, the interest rate, the duration they're supposed to pay back, when was it disbursed, the total that is currently due, and how much they're supposed to pay per month. And you can see also the monthly breakdown. If they have taken it to and it's supposed to be paid back in 2 months, the first installment should be paid by 1st June and the second installment by July 1st. So if that member later on brings in their first installment, you can come here and record that payment, come to record payment, select the installment for which they are paying. By default, whatever pending installment is selected, and the amount they're supposed to pay for that installment is also already known, so it's automatically put in. The date of payment, we assume they have paid today, but if they paid earlier, you can go back and select whichever date they made that payment. If you have a receipt number for their payment, you can record it. If not, it's still okay. You can add some notes if available, and then record the payment. So the system will show you that the first installment is already paid. It becomes green. And then the this other one remains gray, it's not paid, and you can see the outstanding balance reduces to 5,500 because the first one has been paid. So if you pay that second one as well, you can see it automatically knows that the first one is paid. So the second installment is the one that is selected now. If it's paid as well, you can record that, and then the entire loan will be marked as cleared, or both the installments have been paid. So the loan will be marked as cleared and put here in the section for cleared loans. And now the active loans, there is none. So you can see summary of all that funds here. Total saved, total that has been given out in loans, total that has been received, and what is available. So while we have saved 150K, we have made a profit of 1,000 because we lent out 10K. So the available pool is now 151. That is how TRF has been implemented. So for the group details, you could edit the details, you could delete as an admin. That is it for the groups. I think this captures most of the things. Then we have the flow for budgets and requisitions. So budgets can be created here. You just enter the program for which this budget is being created. You enter the budget type. It could be an annual organizational budget, department budget, program budget, project budget, or activity budget, whichever. You select the type of budget you're creating. Then you select the fiscal year, maybe 2025, 2026. And then the title, if you want to give it maybe Q1 budget or whatever, you could select the title if you want. If not, you can leave it. And then you could add budget line items. So if say in this budget you have several items, one of the items is employee salaries, you could add that as a budget item. Then description, say paying salaries for employees. And actually this is not supposed to have the units, but I mean the currency. The units is how many are they? Say if you are paying employee salaries, how many employees are you paying for? So if you say maybe I'm paying for 10 employees, how much is each employee earning? It's 200,000. So it will automatically do the math and say for 10 employees earning 200K, the total will be 2 million. So you can add the justification or not if required. So if you have more budget items, you can add as you want. If you have another item, say transport costs, you can add a description. Going to Mbale, how many times are you going to go? You could select how many times you're going to travel, 10 times. How much is going to cost for each trip? Maybe 100,000. Then it will automatically do the math. 100 times this is 1M, add it on the 2 million, do the total. So and so on. You can add as many items as you want. You can delete one if you added it wrongly. Then you can create the budget. Once the budget is created, the admin receives this. So right now you can see it's a draft. The admin receives the budget. Just right now we are both the admin and the ones who created, but they can see the budget and see the total that has been requested and total spent, the balance, the items, and so on. So once the budget is submitted, the admin can review. all the items and give comments maybe where necessary on each item, and they can also adjust before approving. So if you had requested for 2 million, they can say here we have only 1 million and give a comment. You don't need all that. And then they can approve. So once the budget is approved, you can see here the requested budget was 3 million, but only 2 million has been approved. And these are the items that were approved. The employee salaries will use earn 1 million, and then the transport will also use 1 million. Then that is for the budgets. Then we go to the requisitions. For each budget item that is money is being spent on, a requisition has to be raised. So the finance person or whoever is raising a requisition comes on this tab and then clicks here to raise a new requisition, selects a budget for which that requisition is for. Say it's for this budget, selects the item on that budget for which you are making this requisition. So you want to pay the employees their salaries. So you select that I'm raising this requisition to pay salaries, and you can enter the purpose or description. What is this requisition for? I want to pay match salaries for employees. Then you enter the amount you're requesting for. Sometimes maybe the budget is covering an entire quarter, so you don't have to take the entire amount. Maybe you just want only 300K. So you request for 300K. You can add some supporting documents. Uh, and if you are, say, requesting for multiple people like employees, their salaries, you can attach their list here. So it allows for all these, and you can submit the requisition. Once the requisition is submitted, the admin or executive or whoever has rights to approve requisitions receives a notification. So you can see this thing here has uh, become red. You can see there is a new requisition that has been submitted. So actually that is the same for even the budgets. When a new budget is submitted, the admin receives a notification that there is a new budget submission. So even here in the sidebar, you can see on the notifications, there are 3 notifications. One for the new requisition that needs to be approved. So once the admin receives that notification, they can come here on the requisitions page and view that requisition that has been submitted and all the items. What is it for? Which budget line is it? Who requested for that requisition? Who submitted it? When was it submitted? And the current status. If everything is okay, whoever the admin or person responsible can go ahead and approve as well as authorize the requisition to start to be paid out. So once that has been approved and authorized, now a payment can be recorded. So once you come here on the payments page, you can record a new payment, and that payment is attached to an approved requisition. So we have this requisition that was approved. You can select that. Amount that was approved is 300,000. So you cannot enter any amount that exceeds that. You just record a payment of a requisition that was approved. So you can select whichever payment method was used, maybe the cash or mobile money, whatever. So say the payment was made in cash. If you have a receipt or invoice ID or number, you can add a reference. And then the means of verification, this is like proof of payment, has to be attached. So you can add a receipt or an image of the receipt or something to show the proof that this payment was made, and then process the payment. So that can show you here that that payment has been made. So that is for the budgets and requisitions. If we go to capacity building, we can create new trainings. If we have trainings that are ongoing, you can create a new training here and give it a title, training girls of this school, blah blah. You can add a description of what that training was all about. The training is related to which program. Is it girls education and empowerment? You can add the date that training occurred. When did it end? If it ended the same date, you can say where was it conducted, so and so school. What were the objectives of the training, if available, but option if not. So you can create that training. Then, still, if there are mentorship sessions that need to be recorded, you just come here to mentorship and then record that session. Who was the mentor? The mentor was James. When was the mentorship session? How long was it? 30 minutes. Where was the mentorship conducted? So and so school. What was discussed about in that session? The items, maybe if it needs some follow up and so on, the action points can be recorded. And if there is a next session scheduled, that can also be added here so that the users or the mentors can be given notifications when they have another session. So that session can be recorded also. Then we also have assessments. Actually, I think this capacity thing is going to go a bit down because we'll see. We have assessments as well. We can record assessment for the beneficiary who we are assessing. So if say we are assessing Derek, we can select the assessment type. Is it education assessment? For which period this assessment is? If it's supposed to be monthly, say you can say for the period of June. Then the assessment for now is done by the individual who does the assessment. They just give their score here, maybe on a scale of 100 or in a scale of 10, they can select and say this person has scored 80. Then they can add notes of why they gave them 80. They didn't do this and this, they did this and this. What are the recommendations? Do this, do that. And if we have maybe an Excel sheet of whatever was used to do the assessment, they can attach it here and save. So that assessment will be added for that particular individual. It could be a mentor or a beneficiary. That is for the capacity building. It has trainings, mentorship, and assessments. Then programs, I already showed you this. You could add a new program. The program code, if you have it, you can add a description of that program. When is it starting? When is it ending? How many beneficiaries is it targeting? What is the budget? If available, these others are optional. Only these ones that have a red star or asterisk are compulsory to be filled in, but the others are optional. If the program has a donor already, you can select who the donor is. If not, you can just create it and add the donor later, or if at all the donor exists. So you can also add communities here. You can say Masaka community, select which program for which this is. You can select the district where this is and the region. If you have the sub county, you can also select it. I don't know which sub county, but this is option. But you can enter some sub county in that district and then add that community. Assets, we have an asset register. You can see the total assets of the organization. How much are they valued in? That is the total cost it costs to purchase them, but also the current value. Then the depreciation can be calculated from whatever it cost plus minus the current value. So you can add a new asset. If say you buy a new car, what is the asset name? Toyota pickup. The equipment falls in which category? Sorry, the asset. It is a vehicle. For which program is it? It's for youth livelihood. When was it purchased? Select the date, the serial number of that item if you have it. Or this could be whatever, or VIN number, whatever identifies the vehicle. Purchase value, how much was it bought? 9 million. The current value, maybe if it's still 9 million, you can select, and this can be updated uh, as time goes. Where is it? If maybe it's a static thing and it's supposed to be in a given location. If not, you can leave that. What is the current condition? Is it fair? Is it good? Is it poor? You can select that and register the asset. So that adds here on the asset register, and you can export it. You can export the asset register as Excel if you want to maybe share it with whoever you want to. You can edit details. Maybe if you want to update the current value, that it's now at 5 million, it has depreciated. You can come and update that to 5 million. Or if the condition has gone from good to poor, you can come still and update that. You can delete as an admin. So that's for the assets. Donors I've already shown you. We have reports. So the reports module is quite extensive. It has different reports. So you can notice when you click on the reports, takes you to a different page with its own sidebar. All of these are different reports. So it gives you all the different reports. If you want to report about budgets, at the budget, what was budgeted, what has been spent, this shows you a snapshot of the total budget, total spent, and what is the balance or variance. So, and then also some insights in those budgets. How much has been spent on transport costs, for what has been budgeted, what has been spent, for employee salaries, what was budgeted, what has been spent, what is available now. And this can be filtered for a specific program. So you can add, just if you want to see budgets and expenses for a certain program, you can select them here in the drop down. Then you have option to export this report to PDF or Excel or CSV. So you can select PDF and it will download for you a PDF file. Let me share this. Oh, it has gone off. Just a second. So you can see this is the PDF that is exported by the system for that particular report. If I go back here, that is the reports. You can see the monitoring reports can be submitted manually. If you want to manually submit that for this particular program, I want to create a certain report, maybe donor report of this, whatever. You can name it anything. This is like a custom report. The reporting period for April or March or June or whatever. You can add some notes. And then you say for transport, these were the units that were supposed to be made. Or actually, what was spent. Then the unit cost for each trip, we incurred 300,000, and you can attach proof of that and so on for the other items in that approved budget. So that gives you here the monitoring reports. Then for the financial reports, there are a number of them. So we have the income statement, that shows the total income, total expense, the net surplus, net assets, and all that. And all these can, by default, it shows you for all the programs, but you can filter and see for a specific program. If you want to see for this girls' education, you can see for that. And you can export still to, if you want maybe for all programs, you could export to Excel or PDF and have something that you can share outside the system. So let me show you this. This is the PDF file for the financial reports. Shows you the income sources, shows you the expense categories and how much was spent on each. Shows you how the cash has been flowing, the opening cash balance, the cash receipts from the income sources, the net movement, the closing balance for that period, the balance sheet, uh, all these different things are included here. But that's for the PDF. You could also export to Excel and CSV. That is for income statement. This is cash flow. You could see how the cash has been flowing. This is the balance sheet. You could see the assets. You could see the liabilities and net assets, and all these different summaries or reports being provided here. And all of these are also included in this report that is exported to PDF. So you have a donor report. If a donor is supporting a certain program, you could export a report for that specific program. So here you can select which program you want to report for. The program is that youth livelihood, the donor is UNICEF, and how much has been spent, how much was received, and all that. What has it been spent on? You can see those. And still, for all of these, you could export to Excel, you could export to PDF, so that you can share with the donors if necessary. So same for this. Once you download the donor report, you could see it here, show you some of the things like what was money spent on for that particular program that this donor funded. All the expenses are shown there. And then we have the beneficiary report. This shows you how many beneficiaries have been reached and gender distribution, how many of those are female, how many of those are male. The top vulnerability indicators by beneficiaries, you can see we have 14 mothers, 2 orphans, 2 disabled ones, 1 child-headed, 1 refugee, and so on. So these are the different beneficiary reports. Now here gives you a beneficiary register for all the beneficiaries. And again, you could filter by a certain program. If you want to see beneficiaries for this program for girls' education, you could filter by that. If you want to see for youth livelihood, you could filter by that, and so on. But you could see for all programs. You could filter by a certain group. If you want to see beneficiaries or how they are performing in the Mbale Women Savings Group, you could filter by that. So it shows you how many beneficiaries are in that group, what is their vulnerability indicators, who are the beneficiaries or members in that group, and so on. And you could export to PDF this beneficiary report as well. You just click there and it downloads for you a PDF, which you can open and view. So this is the beneficiary report exported in PDF. Still gives you the summary of the total number of groups, how many female, how many male, and so on. But if you had selected a certain group here or a certain program, say are only exporting the beneficiary report for this program, and I click export to download it and open it here. So this beneficiary report will specifically be for that program, shows you how many are in that program, how many are female, how many are male, and the list of those people who have been enrolled or benefited from that particular program. I think we've gone a bit over time, but the system is kinda extensive. It has a lot to explore. So we have total savings. You can see on the group savings report. It's also a different report. You can see how much has been saved in total, how much has been disbursed, how much is repaid, how much is outstanding, and still you can filter by program or group. You could export to PDF or Excel. You could see how many active loans, how many members, and you could see the top performing groups here, how much they have saved, how much they have lent out, and how many people have paid back, and how much is the amount. You can see them here, and you could see which funds are they mostly using. Is it TRF? You can see here that 58% are using TRF and they have collected 500,000. You could see 23 are using TNF, collected 200K, and so on. You could see a summary of the groups, that this group is in this community in Kalogo village. It belongs to this program. It has 200 members or one or whatever. How much has it spent saved? How many loans have they given out? How much is that? How much has been repaid back? What is outstanding? And you can see their repayment rate here, so that you know maybe if you need to intervene, if maybe repayments are slow or something. And here you can see in detail the savings for all those groups and programs. So you could see the savings, the total that has been saved by all these groups. You can see the loans that have been given out in detail. You could see the repayments that have been made. And you could export to PDF and see the group savings report. Let me show you this. So this is the group savings report. Still just gives you the summaries like you saw them on the dashboard. Total groups, how much saved, loaned or given out in loans, how much has been repaid, and what's outstanding, as well as all these details for each particular group. Then you have the training attendance. If you have training reports, you can export them as well here. If you have assessment results, you can also have reports and export them here. So that summarizes the reports. Then you have users, and as an admin, you can add users who can use the system. So these are the users. You can disable someone if you don't want them to log in anymore. You can just come here and switch them off. If you want them to log back in, you can put them on. You can edit, you can delete, you can add new members. So I'll add maybe new member here. New member, you enter their email, member@tayinu.org. You can put for them a password that they will use when logging in, so you can share that with them. You can select their role. If they are a mentor, an admin, a finance officer, or a supervisor, you can select whatever role they have. So you can enter their phone number as well if you have it, and then create that user. So for this user, you can now share those credentials. Just give them the email and the password you have set for them. That's what they will use to log in. If they forget it, they have to tell the admin. Then the admin resets the password for them. Admin just comes to edit and sets for them a new password and shares the set password with them so that they can log in. Settings doesn't have much for now. We are just displaying a few things, but not much configured yet. I think that's it for the admin page. Then the rest of the roles are literally just getting all portions of these that they should access. So for example, I'll sign out and show you what the finance dashboard looks like. If you log in as finance, you only see things related to finance, nothing else. So you'll see income, expenses, pending requisitions you've submitted to the executives, and total assets. Could see income versus expenditure. You can see the pending budgets that you've submitted. So You can come here and see the cash flow, income and expenses. You can see the budgets and requisitions. You could see the assets. You could see the donors. You could see the reports, and then you have your notifications. Maybe for if you submit a new requisition and the admin approves it, the system sends you a notification, so you can see those notifications here. If you submit a budget and the admin approves or rejects, you receive a notification. That is for the finance. They see only things related to money. Then the supervisor sees things related to programs, so they can see the communities they have, they see their mentors, they see the groups they've created, the beneficiaries, they have trainings they have this month, and program activities, and so on. So for them, they do not see how much the organization is making this month, how much did it receive and spend, and so on. They only see things related to their programs. So they can as well see the groups for which they have access to, and do all the rest of the management. They can create a new group, they can add beneficiaries, record savings, and all that, like I've already shown you. Uh, for this, I'm not sure if the supervisors can submit requisitions, but you can advise. If not, we just remove this module from their dashboard. If they can submit requisitions, maybe if they are going out in the field and so on, then we can have them submit requisitions. If not, we can remove that. So they can create new trainings, create mentorship sessions, and do assessments for their beneficiaries. They can also see the programs. They can't create, they can just see programs to which they belong, as well as the communities. For the communities, they can create. And then they can also see notifications that they received, if any. That is for the supervisor or mentor. So we also have the executive. Executive sees high level, sees the total income, the expenses, the surplus, and the beneficiaries. So they can see the budgets, they can see the programs, the donors, they can see the reports. That's it. They see literally most of the super admin things, except that for them, they don't have to do much of the work. So, like managing users and all that, that is handled by the admin. So, yeah, I think generally that's it. So, I think I'll stop the presentation at this, and then we can take on the feedback from what has been presented. Yeah, thank you. So over to you now. You can. All right.
Aida, are you going first?
No, Robert, you can go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much, Derek, for a wonderful tour. Yes, it has been a great learning, and I believe you have done work. So yes, along the way, I noted a key things, and that's where yes, I need more clarification, both from Greg and also Derek, to see that yes, I have captured all. And that one, we are going to go back to where we record savings, and that is majorly on TF. The way how we do it, yes, the members save yeah the receipts or
This
screenshots
is for
to have
TNF,
proof.
TRF.
TRF.
TRF. Okay.
Yes. And after sharing the receipts, we have to keep as a proof of a payment. Yes, and in our sharing, I did not see where we can
Upload.
upload.
Yeah. I
Yes,
That's not there yet.
yes, and as well,
That.
yes, and as well, TRF. Of course, it is saving, and also the members are allowed to withdraw part of their money and leave some. And as well, those ones who doesn't want to withdraw, they can take a loan. And I don't see that option of withdrawing. It is only showing taking loan and saving. I don't know how.
Mm,
I think that part can be included.
withdrawing.
Yes, withdrawing.
Okay.
Yes.
Noted.
Then I believe also it will be he will be having like uploading the proof of payment.
Mm, yeah, I've noted.
Um, yes. And then also on the part of loan taking, yes,
Mm,
I see a percentage. The system converts it, and when I try to do rough work, I found that is a simple interest. So maybe God can come in and clarify whether we go with that or you would advise any other, because at the moment we are using compound interest.
okay.
Yes, maybe. Okay.
Yeah. So from the previous meeting we had with Gerald, he had told me about the different ways for which the interest was charged and the penalties. And we realized, or we we recommended that having a fixed rate per month is more predictable and easier to track. So if someone borrows 100,000 and you tell them you are going to add 5% every month, so if if they are taking the loan, they know exactly how much they are supposed to add in as interest, and then that is separated. Let me show you as I show you here. So this one is taking a loan of 100,000. They are returning it in 3 months or 4 months. So if they are taking a loan of 100,000, they are returning it in 4 months. If we use a fixed rate of 5% per month, it's easy to track and for them to know, to be transparent of what exactly they are paying back. So we show them that if you're taking 100,000, you're paying back in 4 months, you'll add for us 20K, and the total you'll be paying back is 120. But since you are paying back in 4 months, we'll distribute this 120 across the 4 months. So every month you'll be giving us 30,000. Okay. So once the loan is recorded, now we have those 4 installments they're supposed to make every month. On June 1st, now this is May 1st, so month one will end on June 1st, so we expect them to have made the first installment of 30K. If this date reaches and they have not yet paid, or they have only paid back a portion of this 30K, we apply a fixed penalty of 5% of whatever balance is outstanding for that particular installment. So that way, it's easier for members to comprehend. So, because charges are fixed, the previous one had a lot of computations at a now month, at a now we carry forward. If you pay 2 days late, we calculate the percentage you're supposed to pay each day and add it on your principal or balance, which I think would make it kinda unnecessarily more complex. So this new approach makes it a bit straightforward for the people who are borrowing. Things are a bit clear upfront. They are giving us 5% every month. If for this particular installment they delay, they are supposed to pay by June 1st. The moment it reaches second, they haven't paid, 5% of whatever balance is immediately applied. So they have to pay, if it's, for example, this 30,000 they're supposed to pay, and June 2nd, which is they haven't paid, automatically penalty of 5% is added, so they will be paying 31,500. So that is a bit more straightforward. You just tell them we added for you 1,500 because you didn't pay on time. Yes. Someone who pays 100,000 on the first day of June, we clear for them all these uh, installments. So we clear this and this and this. Then the 10K is put towards this installment. Then the balance will be 20,000. So, mm, mm, the- mm. To allocate where the for which installment the amount is going. Mm, yeah. Mm, mm, mm. Up to the fourth installment. Yeah, they don't have to allocate. The system does that automatically. So let me show you. If they come today and they are paying 100,000, and if they have a receipt, actually now here is where I'm going to add the attaching the proof of payment. If they have a receipt, they can attach it here and then record. Oh, it's actually not here. Let me note that. So what it's going to do, it's going to check all of these three as green, already paid. So it will check this paid. Then this will be orange, partially paid. Shows that you have paid 10K on this, balance is 20,000 automatically without you having to allocate. Yeah, let me note that. I'll add that.
The last one, still on the same TRF. At the moment, when a member requests account standing or account statement, is there a way? I haven't seen option of printing for a member. Yes, his account statement. Maybe if I missed, you can let me know.
No, you didn't miss, it's not there yet. Getting the account statement for a specific member in the group.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yes, whether
Group statement is there. I think it's
okay.
the member one that is not there yet. So let me note that we can add it.
Yes, I believe there we can have a filter, saving, withdraw, or something. Okay.
Uh,
Thank you.
a filter for what? For the statement? Or
Yes, because a member can save,
mm,
can withdraw,
yeah.
even can take a loan.
Mm,
Yes, possibly. Um,
yeah.
mhm.
Okay, so I'll add a new tab here for withdraws. Then I'll add ways of exporting a statement for each member.
Mhm. Oh,
That is
yes.
noted. We'll add it.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
All right. Robert, is that all for you?
Maybe a last one. I hope the other one you have already noted where we had units, and then in a circle, then there was currency sign whereby it has to be on a
I
track
see.
and figure.
Let me note it
Okay.
where I had noticed but hadn't noted it.
Okay, that's all from me.
All right. So that's noted. Deus, do you have any feedback? I. Yes, Deus. I see you unmuted. Uh, Deus' microphone is not working. Yeah, that could work. So meanwhile, if you have any feedback from Ida, you can step in.
Hi, everyone. I just want to appreciate the great work done. I don't have any feedback at the moment. Maybe, yeah, the only thing I wanted to ask was about the statements, the individual statements, because
Mm,
currently, okay, Robert raised it already.
mm,
Yeah, because currently we are getting the statements monthly, but the
mm.
system seems not to be giving us that. Good thing we're going to get it covered.
Yeah, we we are going to add that. Yeah, Robert, I see your hand is up.
Okay, I'm back on TNF.
Mm,
The one that we do virtually.
yeah.
Yes, we have a series of groundwork. We have the oh, I think we have covered, but I can air out. Then you can guide.
Mm,
Yes, the members before receiving the fund they submit pre-expenditure budgets, and then with the list of items and estimate costs. Then after reimbursing payments to a beneficiary, then again finally they submit after expenses. Then they submit uh, they are called post expenditure budgets. So we are going to use the same option. That data we are going to be inputting as administrators, or it could be like I, there could be option that every member can have can have option of his account, then everything done in the system. Yeah, thank you.
Robert, I think I didn't get that clearly. If you could explain a bit.
Okay.
Mm, 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 yes. Mm, mm, Mm. The person who is supposed to receive the money for that round. Mm. Mm. That's not change. Mm. Mm. After they have spent the money. Mm. 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 Hmm. Anyway, I think the budget is usually submitted in which format? Is it like an image, a PDF, an Excel? Because that shows items and the amount going to be spent on each item. Mm, okay. Mm, mm, mm. Okay. Yeah, I think I get it. We'll see how we can incorporate it in, but I get the idea.
Then, in regards to that, Gerard, to me, I see that now if we give a member a responsibility to submit on the portal by themselves, it means that they will have. Can we use one user for the members to submit? Yes, I believe that one can. Mm, yes. Yes. Oh. Mm, mm, yes. 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 Mm, mhm, yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
from the discussion we had, we said that giving members direct access will be a module to add for the future, but for the scope of this initial implementation, we are going to give the responsibility of entering the details of this group to their mentor. So if they have that report, they give it to the mentor uploads it here. If they get the post whatever purchase report, they give it to the mentor adds it here, but they themselves don't have access to the system. Maybe the
Okay,
mentor
thank
can
you. It's okay.
export the different reports here and give them if they want, like the individual reports that you mentioned that the system should be able to print. The mentor can export here and give them, show them, for this cycle, this is how much you've saved. These are the loans you've taken. This is your pending balance, and so on. But the users themselves, for this particular first round, we do not have functionality for them in the system. So I don't know if that answers it, Robert.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm satisfied. Thank you.
All right. So, Jared, I think we can then proceed to you because I see the time has gone.
Thank you so much. Me, just I wanted to inquire about that part of acquiring funds, like for the ERP and TRF funds, like when a member is trying to acquire a loan.
Mm.
So, are there details for the loan? Like she's taking the money for this, because when we are tracking to
The
see,
reason,
yeah,
even ERP.
yes.
So, currently, actually, for ERP, for TRF, the reason was not included, but I'm going to add it actually. Mm. Mm. No, this is the mentor. This interface is being displayed or managed by the mentor. So, mm, no. And that goes to the other module that we said is for a future implementation, because the assumption with this system is that the group leaders, these ones that are selected, we have the chairperson, the secretary, treasurer, whatever. They are the direct ones that handle the group operations. So when the loan request is made, it's made to whoever the chairperson or the secretary or the treasurer direct. The mentor just goes, picks the details that now who has taken a loan. They tell them so and so has taken a loan. This is their thing. They come and record that loan. If they go back tomorrow and they tell them so and so has paid back 200K, they come and record that repayment. You get? So literally, this is just tracking or loans and this and repayments that the group is already handling, because you said you are not directly involved with the group operations. All you do is see how many loans have been given out, how many have been repaid, how what is the total savings, and all that. So the members themselves don't have any mode where they interact with this system. We are starting for now from the mentor upwards. So everything regarding the group is managed by the mentor. So it's the mentor who goes to the group, sees that okay, today who has a loan, this so and so, and then they can add it here. But if we need the other module to be implemented, because it's an entire thing. If we are to ensure maybe on the group, the chairperson or secretary or treasurer can as well log in and submit those things of requesting and all that. That is an entirely different module.
Can I add some things more? Yes, Gerard, what I'm picking is that like formally, as they were how the members are applying to us, then other after receiving feedback from them, then we reach out to you either on WhatsApp. So at this moment, instead of calling or WhatsApping, we shall be using this platform. Yes, so as we can be able to gather all information. That's what I feel like it will be. So the information we shall be like it will be fed in by the leaders. The members, they will be applying as formally as we have been doing. So they will not be able to um, they will not be able to reach to this platform. Mhm. Yes. Um, yes, exactly. Yes.
Maybe a follow-up question on that issue you've just talked about. Like you're saying, Robert will be just receiving the information, then feeding the dashboard, then the management doing the decisions. So will this system be used just for the digital groups, or the community groups will also be inclusive? Okay.
Mhm. I don't know if that has been answered, but the answer is yes, I think. All groups are tracked, not just the digital ones, right? The supervisor or the mentor goes, gets whatever records have been recorded by the group members, feeds them into the system so that the rest of the admins can see that group so and so here has saved 100K today. A new community has been added in this location. A new group has been created by so and so, and all that.
Oh, I get it now, Derek.
All right. Mm. 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 Uh, it goes to the executive. So there are two people here that that could approve a budget. The one who has ultimate control, who would ideally be the system admin or an executive. So you could have the admin and executive, both of them have the highest permissions to approve and so. Mm, 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 Yes. So now on that, ideally, what you're saying, if a mentor submits a budget or a requisition, the super admin should not be able to see it. Mm, mm. With the primary responsibility of approving or rejecting. Yes. Mm, mm, mm. Oh, yeah. Mm. So this is what we are going to do. When the mentor submits the requisition, it it has someone attached as the approver who is their supervisor. But while the executives cannot see it, the super admin can see it. So once the supervisor approves, they can also raise a different requisition, whether with other things or they have boosted it, and that is the one that goes to the executive for approval. Mm, yeah. Mm, mhm. Okay, that's clear. Mm. On the beneficiary reports, you can see it here and it can be exported to Excel or PDF in the group. When you come to a group, you come to the beneficiaries, then you can create a beneficiary here. What was approved versus what was spent. Mm. 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 Yes. Okay. Yeah. And, mm, mm, maybe you can just share that. Mm. Yeah. Those are literally just different conditions. You just need to get the different conditions that you have on your end and we include them in. On that, on the inventory, if you receive, for example, 200 books, when recording, giving them out, you specify what do you currently track when you're reporting who received this? Do you specify that a school, a group? Mm, mm, Mm. Uh, I don't have. Actually, here programs are treated as the same as projects, so I don't have projects here. No, we only have programs. What is the difference between a program and a project?
Then you can give clarity.
Mm. 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 Yeah. Mm. 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 So you create that as a project. Yes. Mm. 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 Project budget. Mm. Mm. These groups, the savings groups, all these beneficiaries and all those, do they belong to a certain program? Mm. 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 So they want a report only for that project they are supporting, the entire program. Mm, mm, mm. Project. I mean, for programs, it's already in. You could already filter everything by a specific program. But then the projects then adds another layer. Which now, let me ask you this. Uh if we are tracking, for example, on the group specifically, they could belong to a program or a project, or they have to belong to a project under a certain program. Okay. They don't just belong to a program, it has to be a certain project. Okay, I get that. So I'll add that projects layer. Mm, 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 mm. Beneficial. Mm, 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 mm. Supervision. Mm, 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 mm. And then the group, it's still the mentor to assess the group. mm, mm, mm. From the last discussion, you had not finalized with those assessments. S- So we said we'll just put where they already and fill in here the score they have assessed separately, then that can be added later. Mm, 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 entered. Mm, mm. That one is okay. If you share those tools, then I can add those. Mm, 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 mm. I think I don't get that. What do you mean equals to person receiving the money? Mm, yes. Mm, you're meaning to integrate in payments here. Um, well, that at least for the moment we can do mobile money. You would have to apply to the payment service provider and submit your company documents, bank statement, certificate of registration, and all those. Then they can give us API access. But then, anyway, we can see how we can add that. Though we are sending, in this case, money to whoever requested. Yeah, actually, I get it. We can do that payments integration and all that resetting aspects and all that, but that was outside the scope of this initial implementation. So if we are to add that, we'd have to add some charge for that implementation. Yeah, Jared, that's it. Yeah, that one. That's it. Mm, the loan and all that. Yeah, I'm going to add it on all those different items. Mm. 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 The, mm. Member. Mm. Mm. Whoever is supposed to receive for that round.
Beneficiary. Maybe, Derek, we can use the word beneficiary 1, beneficiary 2, beneficiary 2, 5, 10. Those ones make a round. Then when they are done to begin afresh, that one becomes round 2.
Ah, okay, because according to this implementation, what you are terming as round is what I'm calling the cycle. And then that's what you're terming as what? This part
Beneficiary
is what I'm calling the round.
round. Mm,
So the cycle is when all of them have got, then they begin
mm,
a new cycle. Ideally, that makes more sense. It's a cycle. They all get, and then when they have all got, the cycle is done, they can close it and start a new one.
okay.
Yeah, so this is each time someone is getting, that's one round. So if another person is getting the next time, that's another round. Then when all of them have got, then the cycle closes and they begin a new one.
Again, something new I have recalled. When a member is applying for a loan, there is application fee. Where do we record it? Incomes. Okay.
Incomes, um, I don't know how you are managing it, but
The one for TRF. Yes, when a person is applying for a loan in TRF, there is
mm,
an application fee that he or she pays.
how much?
That is 10,000 a member. Mm. Okay.
On the application fee. Mm, okay, that's fine. Mm, yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you all for the feedback and the time. So all the feedback has been documented. We'll go ahead and implement the suggested changes, and then I think we can catch up next week. Most likely, we should be done with everything, so we can catch up next week and so we can push it. Mm. I don't know do you have access to the domain registrar? Mm, mm, mm. Yes, it can. Already it has been made to be responsive, so it adjusts its functionality based on which screen it's on. So you can say a tab interface would ideally display still, and everything would still work on the tablet. Yes. Uh, we can make what we call a progressive web app. I don't know if I should charge you more for that. Ah, Gerald, my kids have to take milk. Eh? Yeah, but yeah, I can make the progressive web app. Mm. So good. So
Okay, guys, I appreciate the time we've been here. Actually, it's been, I think, more than 2 hours on this
mm,
call. Yeah, thank you so much for the patience, for the feedback, for the comments, and for the great work done, Derek and Regina. We appreciate you so much.
thank you.
I haven't heard Regina speak. I don't know if that was the time I went to the bathroom, but I didn't hear her
Yeah.
speak.
She wasn't able to join on this call. I guess she will join on the next one.
All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, and have a good night. Yeah. Derek, have you Monday?
Good
Okay. Bye.
night.